1, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with Miss Shanice saying, I just need Jeffy to open up? And what closes with Miss Jackie saying, I hope that my sexual attraction continues with Mr. Ryan. If you guessed or knew from the title that I was talking about Married at First Sight, Season 6, Episode 7, In-Laws and Friends, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video or clicking on the live and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I'm Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You, and we're working on 1,000 subscribers. So if you are not already one of my first 1,000 church subscribers, and go ahead and subscribe. And if you are, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome if you're new. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us proceed. Okay, so this is their first night together in their own place. We got the couples are Jeffy and Shanice. That's the black couple where they were sleeping in separate rooms at his request for his comfort. We have Jacqueline and Ryan. That's a white couple where she has lost her fiance to he died, or her boyfriend died a year and a half ago, and she and her Married at First Sight husband had sex on the first night. And then we have John and Molly. They are not sexually intimate. Hey, welcome in the chat. But they are seem to be getting along relatively well. And John, remember, is the one who quit his job because his job said, no, you will not go on TV. And he said, yes, I'll go anywhere for love. And so those are the three couples. So the theme this week is that they're entertaining friends and in-laws in their new place. It's day 14 of their marriage. So they've known each other for like 2 weeks, 14 days, and they've been married for 2 weeks, 14 days. Okay, so we join in with Jeffy and Shanice. And Miss Shanice, remember when we left off the last time, she was like basically just broken down, like, I need you to open up. And Jeffy was kind of like, kind of looking weird, non-responsive from what we could tell. He like, is there anybody in there? Is there a heart in there? So Shanice says, I need you to open up. And Jeffy is like real flat. Don't cry. Don't cry. Shanice is like, where do we go from here? And Jeffy is like, he is not a man with a plan, is he? Or he might have a plan. We don't know. He does not appear to be a man with a plan. And we like a man with a plan, don't we? I do. I like a man with a plan. Yes. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. He's like in her hat box. There's a hat. He hopes she likes. He got her a gift. I'm like, wait, what's going on? He has a gift, and he has written a note. Like, not just did he purchase her a card. You know how you can go to the store and you look at 20 cards and you're like, this is the card that expresses what's in my heart. No, he wrote like an actual note. He got a card, but he wrote like an actual note. And not just a note like, oh, I hope our marriage works, but like a note, like like self-reflective and everything. And there's a rose in there, and it's an apology note. And Shanice, is like, oh my God, and she like hits him with the pillow because of course they're not affectionate, so she can't hug him. But I guess some people's marriage might be such that they hit each other with pillows, but she can't hug him and be like, oh, I accept your apology, baby, because he might be like, get away from me. So and then, oh my gosh, she hits him with the pillow. And then the next thing we know, he's put her down on the bed and he's holding her. So we're like all in shock and we're confused and we don't know what's going on. Like, we're like, is that Jeffy? Maybe he replaced himself with his twin brother when he got back. And, he's holding her. And then he says that he can't wait to get some alone time with her. And I'm like, hey, aka Special K, welcome in. He can't wait. We just talking about Jeffy and Shanice. Jeffy says he can't wait to get some alone time with her. I'm like, y'all been together for 2 whole weeks, for 14 days. He said he wants the cameras to leave. He can't wait for the cameras to leave. And I'm like, well, hallelujah. 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 I got excited. I'm like, well, maybe we have a detente. Maybe the ice is frozen. Has it thawed? We don't know. So then we go over to Molly and John. And John is hoping for more physical contact. He's been, being patient and reasonable. I've been appreciating his approach a lot. He wants more intimacy. And that living together, he's hoping that living together will spark that spark. And Molly is happy about the experts' work. Like, the experts did a good job. They matched us up and everything. But he's still a stranger. I only been knowing him for 2 weeks. So she's taking off where Jeff D, left over. They have the same type of, I would probably have that same thing too. I mean, I don't know if I could just like trust the experts who I don't know. Could you just trust the experts you don't know? Hey, welcome into the chat. So I don't know, sometimes, so anyway, so he's still a stranger. And she says she can't imagine him. This is Miss Molly saying she can't imagine John as a good husband. And they are planning their get-together. That's the theme this week. Everybody's having their get-togethers. So we see Ryan receiving, hey, Frank G. We see Ryan receiving pastor counselor at their place. I don't know, Cat Daddy, the black pastor at their place. And Ryan is stressed out because he feels that he risked everything for love. And she still seems to be hung up on her expired ex, her fiance, her boyfriend who died. And he's like, I risked everything, and is she ready to move forward? And the pastor asked, well, how's it going? Jacqueline is like, well, he feels like I'm going backwards. And the pastor is like, few of us, myself included, can really say that that we have been through what you've been through. That is something different. Your loss is different. I've lost this person a lot, but losing a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, that's different. Just like people who have lost children, that's like a whole nother category of loss. Most of us just we don't have a frame of reference for that. And the same thing for losing a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So Jackie is like, what's causing the issue? That's what the pastor asked. And Jackie is like, well, he sees my crying and feels like he's being compared and not measuring up with my ex. And the pastor is like, well, are you comparing him? And then I think we had a dramatic commercial break. And Jackie is like, well, I didn't feel that I was comparing him. Relationship, enter something. I can't read my notes. Okay, so but she says, I feel like I'm losing I feel like losing love at first sight was a big deal. And I feel like getting married, she feels like losing her love, the love of her life, not love at first sight. The love of her life was a big deal. And she also feels like love at first sight, getting married at first sight, is a big deal. And it's her second chance. And the pastor is like, well, emotionally, what you have to do is you have to emotionally replace your memories. Now it's kind of like, huh? And then he goes on to say, so it's nice memories and not an emotional attachment. And I was kind of like, okay, I think I kind of see where he's going with this. You have to respect each other, and we feel, we experts feel so much confidence in your relationship. We want you to respect each other. We know it's going to work out. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. We're rooting on you. Okay, we're rooting for you. Everyone is rooting for you. Then we have John. He's moving out of his place, like literally moving out. And I think that he said that the other 5 folks have chosen to keep their places. So they like, hey, we're going to engage in this 2-month experiment, but I'm not going all in. I'm going to keep my place just in case things don't work out, and then I don't have to find a whole nother place. So are they paying 2 rents and 2 more? Like what's going on? That's probably why a lot of the places that they got were furnished. Remember before, I'm like, is that a Boston thing? All of these furnished places? They were probably looking for furnished places because they want to keep the stuff that they already had. But John says that he is all in. And so now 2 weeks time to integrate friends and family. And they talk about the fact that normally when you dating somebody, your person has gotten to know your friends and family by the time you got married, but that's not the case here. So it's 16 days. We see Jackie and Ryan, and both parents and also Ryan's sisters are at Jackie and Ryan's place for brunch. And Jackie says she's happy to be hurt. You know, Ryan done hurt her feelings, but she happy because that means that she cares. If her feelings wasn't hurt, she wasn't caring. And Ryan is like, yeah, I was feeling like all this happiness couldn't last. So I'm glad we not totally happy. And then Ryan is talking to Jackie's mom and asking, for advice, like, well, what's your advice for me with your daughter or whatever. But I got distracted because I wrote here that her mother's haircut and color is absolutely fabulous. I thought it just looked really, really pretty. I was just, it was fabulous. And her mom is encouraging and saying, and then we see, her mom encourages him, we like you, y'all work it out, whatever. And then we see Jackie getting tips and advice from Ryan's mom and dad, and they are happy with her and they want it to work. So it's happiness, it's encouragement, it's a love fest all around. They have and I was just thinking for this show, they have a bigger pool of people to match from now than when they first started. So we're 6 seasons in. And so I guess, it seems like, they might be a little more effective with what they're doing than what they were before. Before they probably had to take some people who were like, we think they 80% compatible and put them together. And now maybe they're up to 90% compatible or, whatever. So, the show has been around and people have been watching. So I think they have a better pool to draw from. Now, of course, I'm sure there's going to be drama with Ryan and Jackie coming. We see, the other couples have drama. There's going to be some drama, but I think the experts look like they're doing a good job. So we're at Molly and John's house, and she says that being married is making her feel really pressured, and she's feeling really pressured into having sex. And they have not even been cuddling, we find out. So it's sort of like their physical intimacy seems, thank you for the likes, their physical intimacy seems to be like, instead of developing, from, you might touch the person on the shoulder and then pat them and then you rub up against them and then you hold hands and then you snuggle cuddle and it escalates. She like, don't touch me. She's not open and receptive. So John has told us that. And then the woman, woman says they have standoff for a marriage. Oh, one of the women at the event for Molly and John, I couldn't quite figure out who they were, but she's like, they seem very standoffish for a married couple. And then he heaps from one woman that she is usually friends. Oh, John hears from one of the women at the event that usually Molly is friends with someone before she would date them. So that makes him feel a little bit better. And then there's one woman who's like talking to him and she's like, well, are there any, boxes that she doesn't check? And we get a dramatic pause. I think we get a commercial. And then, she's like, everybody's not. And John is kind of like, when he comes back. And the woman is like, well, no one is going to check every box. So, she trying to get the bochinche. But John says in his interview that I am not stupid enough to tell her sister that she's really tense around me or to talk whatever with her sister. And I'm like, bravo, John. He just seems very mature in how he's handling this whole situation to me. Mature and like kind of conscious of himself. So that was smart not to, that's probably not the thing to talk to her sister about. So he makes some joke about red hair or her hair color or whatever. And then all of the women are laughing and you can tell they're like, oh, we love John. Like, instead of it turning into something that, was some drama, he turned it into some humor. Right, he laughs all around and I think he's smart. Then we're back to Jeff D and Shanice. And Toya says, well, Shanice seems really happy. And she does seem really happy. And then we see Shanice in the room with girlfriends. I guess those are all her girlfriends. And, you know, they're giggling and, you know, having girl time. And then we see Jeffy, and he's like with 2 or 3 guys in the kitchen. And, you know, the guys are like, well, how was day 1? And thanks for joining and thanks for the like. And, you know, Jeffy is like, well, you know how day 1 was. We started off with the lap dance, and we have footage of him, you know, holding his hands up like, oh my gosh, what in the world have I gotten myself into? And then we see Shanice. And, you know, she's like, well, you know, Jeffy is a nice guy. And then, you know, one of her friends is like, are you effing or nah? That's what we want to know now, girl. Don't be talking about he nice. What's up? And then Jeffy, we go back to the kitchen, and Jeffy is like, well, I didn't make a move on her until we were here. So, you know, we're watching. We're like, I think that, and then Shanice is like, we did the do last night. And I was so picked up. I'm so happy. And it's like, we can really, really tell that she is happy. I didn't know if she was just happy that he had hugged her. Because, I mean, it's been so dry and such a lack of any indication that he might be interested in her, you know, in that way, that I didn't know if they had, I didn't know what had her so happy, but they did the do. So, okay. I mean, it's just been so tense and so much stress and drama for all of us watchers with them, right? I guess now we're going to have to turn that stress and drama on Miley and John. Okay, and prayers. We're going to turn not stress and drama, but prayers. Let us pray for these couples to, you know, come on together. And I trust the experts for y'all, so y'all go on and do the thing. Okay, so then we see the friends of first of the group. Jeffy. One of his friends is like, well, Jeffy is the first of our group to get married, and I'm happy. You know, it seems like it's a good fit, and you know, we like hallelujah. And then even in their interaction at the party, we see Jeffy, you know, touched like booty tap, but like grab Shanice's butt. And I mean, they have gone from, what does the woman say on Real Housewives of Atlanta? They went from 0 to 100. They love is 0 to 100, so they on 100 now. So they, you know, she's sitting on his lap, he tapping her butt. It's just all love and happiness. And Jeffy is like, it's really easy to be around his wife, and they have a good time together. And hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Heavy on the hallelujah. Okay, so then we have John and Ryan, and they're playing ball. So we figure we waiting on Jeffy, and they chit-chatting how's the marriage. And Ryan is like, well, I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, mesh my schedule with, you know, being married, my work schedule with being married, and, you know, with Jackie and all of this. And then in comes Jeffy. And they ask, well, how's your, you know, everybody, well, how's your place? How's your apartment? And Jeffy is like, well, we got a house. And then they like, you know, I think it's Ryan is like, oh, you got a house. Well, are y'all still sleeping in 2 bedrooms? Won't he do it? Hallelujah. I know that child was just like, but I was praying for him. I want him to be happy. And then, you know, Ryan is like, oh, so y'all got a house. Ooh, do you have 2 bedrooms? Because y'all were sleeping in 2 bedrooms the last time we talked. You know, is it 1 room for you and 1 room for her? Are you in the same bed now? And Jeffy is like, yes, you know, I didn't want to have sex with her too bad. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't anything wrong with her. And then John is like, you know, now that John's frustration level shoots up, because he seems like he's a little bit out of character. He's like, my wife won't cuddle, and he seems like really pissed off. I guess it's the frustration. Oh, I guess it's the frustration of Jeffy moving on. Womp womp. It's very sad. I'm sorry, John, but we're rooting for you and Molly, John. We're rooting for you. Then we see the wives meet up. They strutting into a restaurant together, and Shanice is like, me and my husband have good chemistry. You know, we vibe. And Molly is like, you know, I got some discomfort with the physicality. You know, I never happened before. Oh, wait a second. This has never happened before, so I had to take a step back to where I felt comfortable. And then the women are like, oh, you know, it's okay. You know, take it day by day. You know, we're all here together in the same type of situation. We create in our situations. We don't have a path like everybody else in America. We have to go, you know, we doing something different. And Shanice is like, well, we finally consummated our marriage. And Molly is like, well, the last time we talked, y'all weren't even in the same room. He didn't give her a hat. He just gave her the flower and the note. I didn't understand what was going on. And Shanice is like, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with this man. I could cry. And then she does cry. She says she's blessed and she didn't see it coming. She was working toward it, but she didn't know it was going to happen. And then Molly is saying, like in her interview, that gives her faith that things can happen quickly, that things can turn around quickly. And they can happen quickly. They can turn around quickly. Okay, so then we see the counselor arriving at John and Molly's house, and the counselor has decided, this is one of the white women, that she's going to meet individually, first with John, I don't know her name, and then with Molly. And she's like, well, how are you? And John is like, well, I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall. I'm trying so hard. And at bedtime, that's when she says she want to go on social media. And when I try to get a kiss, she'd be like, okay, bye, good night, sleep well, I'm going on social media. And so he says, I've never even been on a date that was a good date where we didn't make out at the end of the night. So I really don't know what the heck is going on here. But the ball is in her court. But I'll tell you this, I'm about to shut down. That's all I know. So she can have that ball in her court. And when she throw it back into my court, it may not be open. She may have to throw that ball somewhere else. I don't get anything back. It's no feedback loop. Why do I need to go out of my way? Why? For what? He says, why, counselor, why? And the counselor is like, John is feeling physically rejected. He has to keep in sight why he did this in the first place. And she kind of tells him that, it's like going to the gym. You can't quit at the first sign of discomfort or the first time that something isn't going the way that you thought it should go. You have to persevere. You have to push through. You keep in mind what your goal is. Keep your vision, John. Stay strong, brother. Man, stay strong. And then with Molly, she's like, I'm feeling anxious about being here. I am the hold up. He's doing everything right. I'm the problem. I'm fighting not to close up. And I feel like this marital intimacy has making me feel like I'm pushed. And, my family and friends are all looking and they want us to do well. And you guys, the experts, you invested in matching us up and you want us to do well. And, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to hurt him. It's like the pressure. And that's just like when you're trying to get pregnant. Like when you're tense, it's counter the whole process. And trying to be intimate with someone when you're like, we gotta bond. It's like it's counter to the process. And so the counselor gets them together and she's like, I feel that you two need to talk to each other. I have a feeling y'all haven't really been talking to each other, and be absolutely honest. And then they talk. And then, she's like, regardless of what happens, I want you to feel that you really gave it your all at the end of this experiment. She's really talking to Molly. I don't want you to feel like you held back. And I guess to John too, because if he shut down, it's only 2 months, which when you're 2 weeks in and it's so intense, 2 months feels like forever. But 2 months is really not that much time now. That's 8 weeks. That's like a cycle of a TV show. That'll come and go. Right. It's the cycle of this TV show probably. So Molly, she walls up. Molly has walls up and she's trying to protect herself. That's what the counselor has observed. And at the end of the experiment, I want you to feel that you gave it your all. Then we're back at Jackie and Ryan, and they're doing the fishbowl game, which is one of their counseling exercises from before, whatever, like asking questions. And they're hanging out and they're having fun. And what do you love most about your partner? And she says that she loves his eyes. And he says that he loves her lips and her smile. But the sexiest thing about you is, I don't know. And then he says he sees daily why we were matched. Ryan is like that smooth talker operator. So he, talking that talk. And then, Jackie is like, well, I hope the sexual attraction continues to grow. And her butt. That was the other thing he liked about her butt, her eyes, her lips, her butt. But I was kind of like, I'm thinking that maybe with this couple, with Ryan and Jackie, that Jackie may not be like she feels like, okay, we got off to a good start, but she wants things to escalate sexually. And I'm not sure. That's kind of like I left like, huh? What? Wait. You know, so we'll see. That was the end of the episode. That's all I got. Did I miss anything significant other than her butt? So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. I put up America's Next Top Model earlier today. We got we got notes on the news feed up today. We have a Be Fabulous You, that series on love today, so check out other things on the channel. And I think we'll be back next week with this. I didn't check. I don't know if stuff was slow, because would have interacted more, but I didn't want to throw you off. Well, I got notes, luckily. But it's good, because I try to be 20 minutes, so I'm 25 minutes. But thank you all for being here. But yeah, see, I already got thrown off. You could tell that I was gonna get thrown off. But that's what I got. Oh, I was gonna say, I think we'll be back next week with this show. I still have some episodes of Making a Model that need to go up. And I think that's it. You know, I'm trying to catch up on Black Lightning and the Quad. Today is the best day ever. Thank you so much for being here, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing your thoughts and your ideas. All of that helps the channel. Of course, it's free. We on YouTube, everything is free. But all of that stuff helps the channel. So I've been officially demonetized. I got my email today. I think I had like $4 in the bank. So I'm really, really sad. And, you know, I guess that, what was I going to get with the $4? A bag of apples. I guess I won't get that bag of apples, but we're gonna try to survive. But that's what I got. That's it. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous.